Part 21, Chapter 41 and 42. Chapter 41, One Last Time. Hello? Anyone there? Jiyan's voice echoed around her until it dissolved into nothing. Streets devoid of people, abandoned cars with doors left half open. The patio doors of some buildings creaked as the wind set them in motion. Just moments ago, all hell had broken loose. Now there was nothing but peace. Where was she? She had been running with the intent to do something important. She barely remembered that much. What had she planned to do? Is anyone here? She called again. Hello? Show yourself if you can hear me. Please. Where are you all? No answer. She took a breath and waited. She bounced her foot. Goosebumps crawled over her skin, enough to keep her from letting any further thoughts in. Something about this place wasn't normal. Don't think. That's better for me, I think. Suddenly, something greenish appeared at her feet. The corners of her mouth lifted into a smile. Clover leaves sprouted before her and conquered the streets like a cleansing fire. Some were four-leafed, others in their common form. Her eyes couldn't get enough of them. During her studies, she could only dream of being this close to nature. Am I in the outside world? She had never experienced so many plants in one place before. She glanced around in all directions, checking whether she was truly alone. No one was allowed to see her like this. Before she lay down on the meadow. Giggling, she rolled back and forth. The ground felt unexpectedly soft. The scent of clover soothed her. Instantly, the tension in her arms and legs faded. If she didn't fight it, her eyes would close. Sleep sounded tempting. Where did I want to go? What did I want to do? At some point, she burst out laughing. It had to be paradise, where she had ended up. A green paradise surrounded by plants. How she had gotten here refused to surface in her memory. But she was here, and here was dreamlike. Far too beautiful to be real, right? Whatever. Don't think. After rolling back and forth several times, she suddenly stopped and stared at the sky. Arms and legs stretched out. The clouds were white as snow and tempted her to want to bite into them. As fluffy as they looked, sleeping on them would be incredibly restful. Two shadows fell over her, tearing her from her thoughts. She sat up in a flash. Kilan, Jiyan, what are you doing here? Both studied her. That's exactly what I was about to ask you, Kilan said with a smile. So you remember just as little as we do? Jiyan followed up. Frowns formed on his forehead. He let out a long sigh and planted a hand on his hip, his gaze drifting into the distance. How is it possible that we lost our memories? What was I doing before this? Strange, Jiyan said. Did you meet anyone on the way? Both shook their heads. Everything felt like before, only better. Had they never really left the glass city? Where were the others? Were they hiding from... Yes. From what exactly? There was a sensation, a feeling of having understood something, but it slipped through her like through a sieve. It felt as though her brain wanted to protect her from a revelation. Nonsense. Why would I think something like that? What would be so bad about knowing something? Out of nowhere, Kilan joined her and rolled around on the meadow. He turned toward her and smiled. this is fun. Yeah, right? She agreed. What are you, children? Kian snapped, rolling his eyes. How embarrassing. Get up before someone sees you. Ugh, I don't know you. I don't know you. It looked so funny when Jiyan did it. I thought I'd try it too. Kilan explained. He beamed as if he'd made the discovery of the century. Come on, join us, Kian. Not in 1,000 years. Kian's stomach growled, cutting him off. When Jiyan and Kilan looked at him, he blushed. Hunger, huh? Jiyan asked with a grin. If your house were nearby, I'd make my famous noodles. You'd lick your fingers, they're that good. Don't exaggerate. Since when are they famous? Kian replied. They're barely enough to keep us from being poisoned. Hey, don't always be so mean to me. Kilan, did you hear that? Kian is mean. Oh, Kilan said, pointing in one direction. Look, guys, there. In the distance, they saw the familiar facade. The house of the two brothers appeared before them. Had it been there the whole time, and she'd simply overlooked it? After that, Keelan's stomach and hers rumbled in competition. Kilan, already on his feet, held out his hand to her, pulling her up in one swift motion. She quickly grabbed Kian. Between them, she felt as though nothing dangerous could happen to her. She looked to her left and smiled at Kian, then turned to her right and gave Kilan the same expression. Together, they walked toward the house. The pots and ingredients were quickly found. It was as if she had never left the house. Left? Have I ever left this house? Somehow I have a strange feeling, Kian said. You too? No idea. Describe it. Kilan asked. Well, I'm happy to be here, and at the same time, I could somehow cry. Sounds like nostalgia, Jiyan cut in. Or maybe deja vu. Now that you mention it, haven't I cooked for you before? You have? Kilan wondered, eyes wide. And I forgot? How mean! What did you just say? Kian asked. They blinked. No one answered. Jiyan refined the tomato sauce with a few spices. Especially today, she wanted everything to turn out exactly the way she envisioned it. Was it because someone else was tasting her food? Was she overthinking things? Tastes surprisingly good, Kian mumbled, shoveling the noodles into his mouth the moment she served them. Ha! Jiyan said, lifting her chin. Told you. The best noodles you'll ever get are mine. Honestly, if you're giving me compliments, I must be dreaming. The three of them laughed together. I've never eaten anything this delicious, Kian continued. He quickly wiped his mouth with a napkin, only to have sauce sticking to it again moments later. So who's the child now, huh? Okay, that's enough. This is getting creepy. How nice you're being to me today. To her surprise, she realized she herself had never eaten better noodles. Had the sauce ever turned out this aromatic? It felt like biting into a piece of paradise. When Jiyan and Kian looked over at Kilan, they saw him grinning. What? Kian wondered, mouth full. Why aren't you eating? Yeah, you need to grow big and strong, Jiyan joked. Well, Kilan began, resting his chin on his hands. I was just thinking. You know, seeing you happy somehow makes me happy too. I love you both so much. Jiyan blinked. Then she blushed. Kian choked on his food, coughing and coughing. "What is that supposed to be all of a sudden?" Kian asked. "Why not? You don't say things like that often enough. I love you?" "Okay, that's..." "Stop." Jiyan raised her hand. Her cheeks burned. What kind of picture was she making right now? A distraction. We need a distraction. Or rather, something to cool this down. Who wants grated cheese on top? It really rounds out the flavor. All three reached for the cheese at the same time. The touch sent a jolt through her body. An overwhelming flood of voices and images crashed into her at breakneck speed. Not all of it belonged to her. Foreign events, ones she hadn't been part of, drilled into her skull as well. It hurts. I don't want to remember. I want everything to stay the way it is. All three struggled to breathe. They panted as if they'd just run a marathon. Where was the energy going? Jiyan needed time to collect herself. "Shit, man." Kian was the first to speak. "You got your memories back too, right?" "Yes," she answered quietly. "I'd love to sit here with you forever, clueless like this. Why now of all times?" Keelan's face darkened. That look again, the one she didn't want to see. The cheerfulness was gone. Can't we just remain in ignorance? Reality hurts. "Are you still of the same opinion?" Jiyan asked. "Wipe emotions from the world and eradicate Slivons?" Kian nodded. Kilan followed. "And you?" Kian pressed. "Still want to save humans and Slivons?" She nodded. "Then there's no other choice, is there?" Kian asked. The table split into 3 even pieces and toppled over, as if sliced by a massive, sharp blade. The dishes shattered on the floor, shards scattering everywhere. Tomato sauce dripped down the tablecloth. Their chairs crumbled, barely holding their weight. They looked at one another. I will stop the two of you." Chapter 42. Memories. Kian kicked Kilan away and at the same time grabbed Jiyan's hands, throwing them over his shoulders. Both were sent flying and hit the ground hard, farther than would ever be realistic. It dawned on him immediately. If he considered the impossible, then... His right hand shaped itself into a sword. A moment later, it was normal again. It's not about sheer physical strength, is it? Now we'll see who keeps mental control. As long as the two of them don't realize it, I have the advantage. So go. "Give it up, Jiyan," Kian demanded. It was worth trying to break her will with words alone. "This is a matter between brothers. How are you supposed to keep up?" While Jiyan struggled to her feet, Kilan lay motionless for a while. What was that? Was he trying to throw him off? Kian would never buy that Kilan had lost consciousness. He was probably waiting for the right moment. Kian had to keep an eye on him just as much. She croaked, "can't allow you to destroy the Slivons." "Then you shouldn't have saved us." "What?" Kian narrowed his eyes to slits. "Shall I jog your memory? By sparing us? By giving us the seeds to eat? You created your own problem. Around them, a strange substance in all kinds of colors emerged from the ground. It swirled around like flexible roots, charged with electricity, crackling with energy. That could only mean trouble. He kept his distance. Who knew how dangerous they might be if he got hit? The only thing I can rely on, always, has been my body. Using a street lamp that bent and wrapped itself around Jiyan's body, he paralyzed her. At breakneck speed, Kilan sprinted toward her, clenching his fist. Before it could hit her face, Kilan appeared and swung his leg over Jiyan. Kilan dodged in a backward somersault, and Jiyan rolled aside as the metal released her. "I can't just let you do this," Jiyan said. Beneath them, the ground began to seethe. An earthquake? Just as Kilan was about to run, plants impaled him. The same happened to Kilan. Strangely, having holes in his body didn't hurt. Was she holding back? The surroundings shifted. The glass city vanished in an instant. Kilan was hovering over a chasm. His heart began to race. If he fell, it would be over. Then he remembered he was used to heights, and the view became almost pleasant. There was no reason to be afraid. He had learned to love high jumps. He quickly looked around. Where Kilan had been, Jiyan was now riddled with holes. What now? A crushing sense of hopelessness came over him without warning. The darkness ahead seemed to offer an escape from everything weighing him down. For a fleeting moment, the idea of surrendering to it felt easier than continuing to carry his pain. Free. Wait! No! That's not right, is it? Do you think I don't notice? Jiyan shouted. Don't play with my emotions and don't use my plants against me, Kilan. She writhed until the vines tore apart. In the next second, she fell. The area changed once more. It resembled a jungle, at least as it appeared in picture books. Something Jiyan could imagine under that term. I see. Imagination has limits. Yes, of course. Jiyan swung from one vine to the next. Kilan was nowhere to be seen. She was losing height, heading toward Kilan. Her foot landed on his face, and she leapt higher. Kian's eyes widened. A black substance flew straight at Jiyan. Kilan was at 12 o'clock, shrouded in a dark aura. Kian's body transformed into a circular saw. He shredded the greenery in an instant and positioned himself directly between the two, deflecting the attack. Everything is possible, as long as our imagination allows it. If I think I'm floating, then I float, exactly like that. Kilan grabbed Jiyan by the hair and shortened the distance between himself and his brother. As if zooming in on a photo on a phone, Kilan was suddenly right in front of him. He grabbed his collar and slammed both of them into the ground with full force. They crashed loudly. The earth crumbled, yet their bodies remained unharmed. Enough of this hide and seek, Kilan, Kian shouted. I'm winning this fight this time. An electrifying whip struck Kian across the back and fused with him. Why hadn't he seen it coming? He fell from the sky and landed painfully. His bones, however, remained intact. In a split second, something appeared before his mind's eye. He saw himself and Jiyan at a university. The way they sat together looked serious. Please, Jiyan, you're the only one who can do it. The words came from Kian's body, but it wasn't him speaking. Was he a Slivon? Jiyan didn't reply. You're like a little sister to me, you know that? If there were any other way, I wouldn't be asking this of you. Please, I want to give him his body back. Give him his life back. End this. The images vanished. Then Kilan and Jiyan advanced toward him. Kian dodged immediately, jumping aside before he could be hit. He had to stay away from those whips. They drained his energy and his air. Kian imagined the glass city. In the blink of an eye, they were there again. No barrier, no skin of the Slivon around them, no military, no other people. His heart stopped when he saw his team. When Jana and Slivon lay on the ground, blood pooling around them, they groaned. He didn't want to imagine the pain they were in. Aaron stood at the edge of a drop. No! Kian screamed, reaching out to him. Don't jump! Why not? I don't want to lose you. Any of you. Why? You, he croaked, are my family. Tears filled his eyes. He blinked once more. Then he was struck by countless vines coming from Jiyan. His team dissolved into smoke. Kilan, Kian breathed, out of breath. That was you, wasn't it? How brutal. I'm getting sick of this. For a brief moment, Jiyan seemed paralyzed, he realized. Was she being haunted by sad images as well? Black substance crept up her body, coming from Kilan. With a sword arm, he cut through the matter. Light returned to Jiyan's eyes. Before he realized it, gas spread around him. He retreated instantly, but too late. Jiyan caught him. With spike-covered hands, she struck him in the face. Something cracked in his jaw. He slammed into a house wall, seeing stars. Everything spun for a moment. He staggered like a zombie until his vision cleared. You can't win if you protect both of us, she shouted. Protect? Them both? What nonsense! I'm not doing that! I'm fighting! With effort, he stayed upright without bracing himself. He gathered energy. Exactly. Your emotions are in the way, Kilan said. He suddenly stood behind him and touched his back. It was as if energy spheres were fired straight into him. Paralyzed. Once again, an endless hopelessness rose inside him, dragging him down. Where did my fighting spirit go? I'm stronger than you, Kian whispered. He knew it. His brother was no true fighter, not at all. And she, as a pacifist, was built for defense, nothing more. She wasn't a fighter, but a protector. He was. He! I'll save you from your stupid ideology! Kian screamed, grabbed both their heads, and smashed them together. Both collapsed. That's how it is. It's my job to bring them to their senses. The electrically charged roots appeared again and lashed into both of them. Their faces twisted in pain. What memories were they receiving? From whom and which ones? He would probably never know. It's time to end this, Kian muttered. Jade's face danced through his mind. Even if I've understood that not all Slivons are the same, yes, I admit that, they must disappear from our world. Back to their world, where they belong. He frowned when he realized Jiyan was dissolving and no longer stood beside Kilan. Where? He felt two arms wrap around him. Jiyan looked up at him. a gentle smile on her lips. Kiyan, can I tell you something? He blinked, confused. You mean the world to me? With his heart pounding wildly, Kiyan jolted awake. His breathing took a while to steady. Around him, the skin of the Slivon withdrew, which had previously formed a protective barrier. Why am I back here? He asked. His team stood like bodyguards in front of him, weapons ready. When Slivon saw he was awake, he beamed. Hey, you okay? You fought bravely, young man, Cedar said, then remembered that he was now Caleb. I wonder what triggered you being expelled from the Slivon's mind. Beside him lay Kilan, just as Kiyan had been before, wrapped in the skin with his eyes closed. As Kiyan looked around, he heard the voices of the two of them, while the great skin displayed them like an oversized television. So, girl, show us what you can do, Caleb said, looking up at the skin. How about you actually do something for once? Kate snapped. By your own account, you're a shitty scientist. Oh, Caleb grinned. I'd rather watch which path Jiyan chooses. Shh, just admit you can't do anything either, you idiot. The war in the outside world raged on. Some of the people watched what was happening around Jiyan and Kilan. Others continued to pass through the skin. Others fought each other. I guess I'm finally out, Kiyan whispered, letting his shoulders sag. I'll have to leave the rest to you, won't I?